Today on Critix Talk, we're doing a full spoiler cast on Season 3 Stranger Things. Stay tuned. Welcome to Critix Talk. I am one of your hosts, Miguel, with the one and only, the homie Klep.
What's going on? What's good? What's good?
What up, critics? How you guys doing out there? Klep, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man, because we're about to talk about something I'm very, very, very happy about. I'm a fan. I'm a fanboy.
Yeah. This is, the force is strong with this one, Klep.
Yeah.
The nostalgia is strong with this one. That's right. I'm talking about Netflix's biggest show.
Biggest?
Their biggest by far.
Okay.
Talking about Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
It's a proven moneymaker. Like, people that had canceled their service came back just to watch the new season. And it dropped on July 4th, Klep.
Independence Day.
It's a very patriotic season.
It really is.
It really felt
very,
like
very festive, very colorful, and we're gonna get into all of
and
that.
I loved it. Klep, bro, did you watch the whole season, and how long did it take you?
First day, Friday, and I even took a break because it was Independence Day, and I ended up, doing a cookout thing with some friends. And,
As you should, you know.
what I mean?
It's 4th of July. You got to catch some fireworks. Like that. That's not just like in the show. Like that's how we live out here, bro. Like we have some hot dogs, some burgers.
But I feel like it's only 8 episodes. Like, that's a work day. That's a normal work day.
That is a work day, but hey, man, I got a regular work day, too. You know what I mean? And I got other interests, I can't just be dedicating my whole life to Stranger Things, like, when it happens like that, bro.
I feel you. But, it was a brief watch, I felt. Breezed right through it. Very watchable.
Absolutely.
And especially if you're a fan of the franchise, you're just excited to see all of these guys back together. So it was an easy watch for me.
Klep,
easy watch, yeah.
I had to, it took me a little longer, right? Like, I just finished last night. And the reason being is because, man, I just wanted to binge the whole series. So I just went ahead and watched season 1, 2, and 3. Got caught up. Because, shout out to the critics who came out and supported us last year when we did our
2
2 years
years ago.
ago.
2 years
a
ago.
year and a half ago.
Yeah,
because it was October.
Yeah.
We did season 2 binge. We did a breast cancer
Binge for breast cancer
fundraiser, which went awesome. So thank you guys out there for supporting us for that. But yeah, we caught the whole second season one night, and that was gangster.
Yeah.
We had the set it was amazing. But
I want to get these guys, go follow Binge for Breast Cancer, the Instagram page, because we're going to definitely be having more breast cancer awareness events
Absolutely.
coming up. Shout out to Yanetsi, a friend of mine who was recently diagnosed, and we're praying, and we got your back. We're right behind you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So,
and that this is exactly what we did it, because we wanted to raise awareness, and try to put any type of funds together to help out the cause. So that night we ended up watching the whole second season, which was a little rough for all of us, because at the same time we were hosting an event, so we weren't just watching the show, which is what we wanted to do. But therefore I had to revisit the whole series, and man, it was great.
You started all over?
Yeah. I did all of it, bro.
This
from
is a recap.
episode 1.
It's definitely like a recap, and they give you a lengthy.
Yeah, but that wasn't enough. I wanted to catch every second. You know what I mean?
talks about me, and he's watching the entire series.
I'm gangsta, bro. I told you.
Is it because it's a short season and you could do that? Because I know you wouldn't do that for a 13, 25.
No. If it was 25 episodes, I would have figured something else out. I would have looked at some online list, watch the most watched episodes. Yeah, something like that. But man, I got through it, and when I finally made it to season 3, it was a very exciting event, because as soon as it started, Klep, there was quite the time jump, and they had to do that, not only because it went from a Halloween cycle between the seasons, it went to Halloween and then pushed to summer. And these kids, hey man, they're teenagers, and they're in those growth sprout years, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we saw a lot right from the get, right? These weren't the cute little kids that we got to know season 1 and 2. These are full blown out teenagers.
Yeah, they definitely look older.
The show addresses that, right? Right from the get, Klep.
I want to jump to something, because
Holla.
This is a little weird for me, and I want to know if any of you critics out there realize this. But there's a point in the season where I don't know if it's just me, but it looks like Will kind of had a growth spurt in the middle of the season.
Bro, Will freaking Mike.
No. I'm saying
Lucas.
I'm saying in the middle of the season.
You
like
think?
1 minute they're older, but then there's another second where they look a lot older, as though they kind of paused on production and then went back in, and then Will looked like he was like 3 feet taller than his mother.
That's what happens, bro, with teenagers. I remember, bro, I left for summer break, when I was 8th grade, came back a freshman year. Everybody's like, yo, Migz, you're 6 feet tall. And like, I'm like, what are you talking about? With like my voice breaking and all that. Like, it's just wild how it happens with teenagers. And like, that's probably what happened, Klep. Like, they took a little break. Yeah. It's like, oh, we'll revisit in 2 months. Came back, and this kid's like a Bigfoot now.
Yeah, he looked totally like taller. Like,
and you know what? Like, because it's like the 80s, and like all the guys is rocking the short shorts. Like basketball shorts aren't what basketball shorts are now.
The Jackie Moon look?
Yeah, they all
the Jackie
like
Moon
thighs and shit. Like it makes everybody look extra lanky. So that was funny. But no, for sure, we picked up on season 1, on episode 1 of the new season, Klep. And like everybody's a completely different person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you enjoy that? How they really address the fallout from season 2, right? Because season 2 has some major events.
Yeah, it goes into it well. We get to see a lot of growth between 11 and Mike, and it has its issues in my opinion, because I feel like there are certain characters that this show is not following that we really should know more about, and some that they are following that we didn't need to get much of.
Okay.
I feel like this season was very, very, very entertaining.
Who did you feel did not get enough of a shine on them? Because I felt like
11.
everybody. 11?
11. And I have a reason for that. Because we had this great second season. And if you remember in second season, there was this 1 or 2 episodes in the season that just didn't match with the tone of the show.
Season 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Season 2. And there were the 2 episodes that followed her and her sister.
Yeah, which is like, it feels like that storyline is dropped out
exactly.
for some reason.
They give us this forced storyline, and we think, okay, cool, we're getting a little bit of backstory about 11.
They don't do much with that.
This is going to be important at some point, and then we get season 3, and they address none of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so now I'm kind of like, there were questions that weren't answered for me.
Yeah, and like I honestly, just because of the show opening for season 3, again, we're doing full spoilers, so I'm going there. The show opens, and we're not even in America, we're in Russia, right?
Yep.
And they're out here trying to
so 80s, by the way.
So 80s, bro. It's U.S. versus America. Versus Russia. It's a Cold War, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not official, but, there's some beef out there. Yeah. There's some smoke in the air, if you know what I mean. Yeah, but straight up, they're trying to, it's an arms race, right? So somehow they must have known that, hey, we got this new technology. We got this crazy-ass gate we can open and pull out straight-up monsters, kid. Monsters. So they're like trying to do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And they're not having such a great time.
No.
Because, it's just Hawkins. There's something about Hawkins.
Now, there was something that kind of confused me. Okay, so it starts in Russia.
Yeah.
And they can't make it happen. And then the big dude who thinks he's Terminator, he tells Guy, you got 1
year. Which I loved, by the way.
You got 1 year to figure it out. And so then they go to Hawkins. And that's when they build the... They build a mall.
They build a mall to hide the fact that they have like a whole underground lab.
I want to be on board with this, but
everything about it was so cool. Klep.
Now it's just pure
Klep,
like.
I want to take it back to the first episode though, before you start like breaking down some of the things that didn't work for you. Okay. But for real, like one of the things I noticed about season 3 is how as the show progresses in the season, breaks down the plots and what it's trying to do, the overarching story, it really feels like it becomes a different movie from the 80s, like each episode.
Yeah. And
like it straight up starts with like a teenage summer love, you know what I mean? Like it's just like it's like a teenage comedy, bro, at first.
But that's what. Let me backtrack, because I love the cinematography in this thing, and I love the way that it looks. It looks like the budget was way more.
Oh yeah. It's like I said, this is their biggest show, and it shows. They put the money into it.
The set design, everything, like it just all. It looks beautiful on camera. and even like you said, like the tone, like it does feel like the Summer of Love, and that's what I dubbed it in the review, Summer of Love. And yeah, that's pretty much all that works for me. I just love seeing the cast together.
Yeah.
And that's what got me through it, because it was like, oh, you just love seeing these characters together. You love seeing that cast together.
Yeah. They're great
together.
Yeah.
The chemistry in the show is just phenomenal. It's just I can't wait to get into
the itty bitty.
Yeah. Just, I love everything about what Stranger Things is, but I don't want to solely rely on that. I don't get lazy, Duffer Brothers. Like I need
what?
I feel like there could have been so much more out of this one.
Wow.
I feel like they purposely filmed this as an ending, not knowing what was
You know
yet
what?
to come.
You're absolutely right. While watching the last episode just last night, it really did feel like this might be the last we've seen out of most of these characters. But guess what? That's okay. And I will get to that, why I feel that way.
I won't hate it if it was a real ending. I won't hate it, but there are still questions that are not answered that were brought up, and that bothered me because it feels rushed.
Oh yeah, no,
it feels rushed.
Listen, this is how I'm telling you. It felt like it's an ending, but it's not the show's ending. Like Stranger Things, what it comes down to, it's really a live action show of Dungeons and Dragons, like it's a straight up adventure, right? And it like every character's an archetype, you know what I'm saying? Like they all play a role, right? Like they broke it down earlier, and I forget who said it, but it was like, yo, 11's our mage, this guy's our striker, this guy's our heavy, this guy, you know what I mean? Like I love that, right? And like that's when they introduced 11's sister's party, like she also had something similar, so like for a little brief stint she joined a different party. So anyways, moving on, what they're essentially trying to do is, hey man, this is gonna be an ever rotating cast of characters, and they introduced quite a few new ones for season 3.
They do.
Let's get into it, Klep. Let's start with who I thought stole the show for me. Okay. And probably you.
Who?
I'm talking about Erica, because you can't spell America without Erica. Lucas's sister. Man, at first, super annoying, right? I did not like her.
I thought she was more annoying this season.
Holy crap, as she got into it, man, I loved the character. She's so smart. And, like, how many kids have you met that are exactly like her?
I mean, yeah, she's very relatable.
So relatable.
But the fact that she doesn't embrace the fact that she is actually a nerd.
Oh, she does at the end.
She calls everyone else a nerd. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I liked being able to get into Lucas's backstory in the second season. But this season, I felt like they just catapulted this character in the forefront and force-fed us her. And it's kind of weird. Like, where are the parents? Like, this girl's been roaming the mall throughout the entire season with no parental guidance.
It was the 80s. That's what parents did. They drop off their kids at the new mall, and they go watch a movie.
Younger than Lucas, so I just
it was, bro.
I don't know.
She got her big brother out there watching out for her, and she was
watching out.
She was never
she was there. He said, "What are you doing here?"
She was never alone. She was always with a whole pack of little girls that she looked like the leader of, and I'm sure
she went missing overnight though.
She was staying at her friend's house, and her friend holds her down. She straight up said it.
Oh man,
bro, I love the new characters. Robin, right? They introduced Robin. You know, at first we all, they make it seem like, hey, this is a love interest for Steve the Hare Harrington.
Yeah.
But that's not what it turns out to be. Klep, you want to break it down to what happens to
our
boy Steve?
Even Steve is fooled at one point. And I like that they went that route though.
Absolutely, it works.
But it was a little predictable at first when she was in the bathroom, and I was like, I think it's gonna turn left.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I kind of felt because
You mean during the reveal or like way earlier in the season?
A little of both, because like I don't know, like she kind of seemed like one of the guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I like that they changed that dynamic, and that she came out and just told him like, listen, I like girls, and it was a good blow, but I loved it.
That scene was awesome because man, Steve might be the coolest guy. Like, Steve's cool, man.
Steve is cool, and Steve is probably one of my favorite. I'll tell you one thing: when it comes to the team ups, my favorite team up is Dustin
and Steve.
Yeah, like I feel like I could watch a spinoff of those two guys forever.
Yeah,
like I like their dynamic.
You know what, Klep?
And I kind of like Nancy.
You did say that, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do end up getting something of that nature.
Like a spinoff or something like that.
Yeah, because like
in the 90s,
this show
maybe?
is way too big for it not to branch out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Steve and Dustin are like, the first supernatural team up.
Yeah, man. These two guys, like, they really do work together, and like seems like a lot of the teams has been away, A lot of the party has been doing their own thing throughout the summer. It starts out with 11 and Mike, like their heavy makeout session. They're out there, they trying to have their alone time. And our boy Jim Hopper, he's not having it, bro.
3 inches.
You can't be making out with my daughter in my house.
I said 3 inches.
Bro, he does a lot of yelling this year, don't he?
Oh, man.
Did that get on your nerves?
Listen, a lot of the dynamic in this did. Like, I just feel like the whole Summer of Love thing was forced, and everybody was trying to ship. Everyone was trying to get in the ship.
There was a lot of shipping.
You know what I mean? It's like, we expected from 11 and Mike because they're just reuniting after like a whole season or whatever, plus some months, and I get that. I like Dustin's dynamic. I like that he went to camp, found a girlfriend, and
he branched out, man. He's a man. He's a man on his own. You know what I mean? He rolls dolo.
To me, he's like the most developed character on the whole show. Like, I feel like they have a niche on who he is and where he's going.
True.
Everyone else is kind of just joining the party and just kind of there. And like Lucas, my man, he needs better dynamic. He's not interesting yet.
He's very much attached to Max. Got more of a development that he did this year.
I'm not a fan of Max anymore.
Oh, I like Max, even though she was like trying to meddle a lot.
I liked her in the first season.
Up a little
second season.
Yeah, like it just came up a little off, but she wasn't wrong completely, so I got to give her that.
She was just annoying, dude.
She was annoying. Let's talk about another one of our newer characters. Who else did they introduce this year? We got Erica. We got
more Billy.
Robin. We got a whole lot more Billy. What you thought of Billy, man?
Awesome.
Yeah?
Great villain.
Great 80s villain.
Oh, dude.
Right?
You remind me of one of the Lost Boys.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
join us, Michael.
So many times while watching season 3, scenes here and there hit me, Klep, and I was like, yo, this is straight up from the thing.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, this scene is straight up from the Blob.
Body Snatchers.
From the Body Snatchers.
Terminator,
bro. So many. Red Dawn.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Like, every time, it really rewards the critics out there for knowing your shit.
Yeah.
And it does kind of like, when it hits you, you feel like a little satisfied.
Oh, yeah. You feel like you know what you're talking about. You feel like a real live movie buff. Like, shout out to the Duffers for that, because you can tell that they're fans of the 80s. They're fans of that era. They're fans of the movie. They're fans of the music, the clothing, everything, because it's done so well. You can tell someone who's posing, and these guys are not posers.
No,
they know exactly. They remember the time.
Yo, let's talk about something of the time, which was a little off for me, Klep.
What?
And you sort of mentioned it to me off camera, and I'm talking about the product placement, mainly the Coca-Cola product
Coke?
placement.
The
new Coke, and how hard our boy Lucas was selling it, bro. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't think he even bought it. Like, the shit he was spilling out his mouth, I don't think he even.
That was literally a commercial. That was literally a paid spot. Coke, don't try to deny this. That was literally a paid sponsor. That one sequence in the mall towards the end, third act, when they're talking about the new Coke and the flavor and how he loved it.
But he still loved the classic.
Yeah. That was complete. Which was awesome, though. Like, it wasn't.
It's so much of the moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, Coke was a big thing. Coke was a big deal. Pepsi was even a big deal, but Coke was definitely a big thing.
But you mentioned how this show looks so good, right?
Yo,
and I had the chance to watch the whole thing in HDR 4K, man. It was real pretty.
See that?
Shout out to my boy. See that? But yeah, bro, it felt like a product placement. But hey, man, that money that makes the show look so pretty, it's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it's Pontiac because, this dude's driving a Trans Am like a madman, right?
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's Coca-Cola because, your boy Lucas just has to really go in depth into how much he loves it.
I heard they were re-releasing New Coke for Stranger Things.
Whoa.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't remember what it tastes like.
I've never had it, so I'll be so
I've
down.
just heard that it was like overly sweet. It was very, very sweet.
And more crispy?
I don't know. I've never had it, but that's a description that I got. But I heard just for the Stranger Things promotion that they were supposed to be re-releasing it.
Yeah. I'll be down for it.
I'll try.
Why not?
We'll take the Coca-Cola challenge.
Yeah, send me me a few free cans, kid. I don't.
That was the
Pepsi.
Yeah.
Like if you know Pepsi Clear from Pepsi regular.
You know Pepsi between Pepsi and Coke.
Oh. Yeah. I know Pepsi or Coke. Dog.
Oh yeah, you can tell the difference.
Don't even
Coke's
play
a little
yourself.
more roasted.
Yeah, it's more bitey.
Yeah.
Klep, let's get into the villain for this year. We talked about Billy and how he was a straight up 80s teenage monster, right?
Mm-hmm. What's his name? Darkry is his name?
Who that?
Billy. Darkry is his real name?
I don't know.
It's like Darcy. D-A-C-R-E.
That's his real life shoot name, yeah?
It sounds like a 80s rock band.
That's dope.
Darkry.
But alongside Billy,
Darkry.
We got the Mind Flayer that came back, right?
Flayer, kid.
Man, we did not dealt with him like we thought we dealt with him at the end of season 2, huh, Klep? Tell us how that happened and how that stuck with you.
The flare. I mean, they gave us a little spoiler-ish little thing of the flare at the end of season 1 on when they showed the upside down dance and they show him at the top over the town. Whatever, cool. But I wasn't really a fan on how this was. It was a good idea.
Yeah.
But it wasn't executed properly to me because the flare was supposed to be possessing people.
And it was.
Like body snatching.
It was.
But we only saw one body snatcher throughout the entire movie.
No, we saw multiple.
No one else was doing anything.
Well, we saw Billy getting body snatched.
Then he took
Then we saw the lifeguard getting body snatched.
Okay, those were
then we saw the parents. Then we saw Mrs. Driscoll. And then, at one point, they show a whole gang
where
that got body snatched.
Where did they all go?
They all turned into the monster. You've seen them all pop away, and with the same thing that happened to the rats happened to people.
So you're saying that
they liquefied and turned into the blob, into the interpretation of the Mind Flayers on this side of the upside down.
Only had a good handful.
No, well, there was at least 20 in that one scene where they show, everybody's asleep.
Am I being nitpicky? I don't know.
You are being nitpicky, very nitpicky, especially all the references to stuff you love. Klep.
Yeah, I get. Listen, that's the stuff that drags you in, and that's cool. I love this cast. I love this group of people. I just feel like the plot's a little weak, and it feels like season 2. Like it's the same thing. We divide and conquer. Everyone separate and go do your mystery thing like Scooby-Doo, and then the last episode we bring you all together. Yeah. It's the same
thing. I'm gonna address it because it seems like you are stuck like a friend of mine. His name was Will Byers, right? He was stuck in a place where he still wanted to be a child, and all his friends are out there hanging out with girls, making out.
I like that dynamic.
But at one point, everything blew up on his face because Mike had to be real with him and be like, what did you expect us to do, Klep? Be stuck in the same place? We're not the same children. He was saying that to Will, but he was also saying that to the audience. Because they were going to see, hey, man, these kids are awkward as hell now, right? No offense, but Finn, bro, you're in the middle of your growth spurt. Will, you're in the middle of your growth spurt. You do look awkward, bro. I've been there. You're going to get through it. But for now, don't expect the show to be season 1 kids because that's not who they are.
But that's not what I'm looking for. I appreciate the growth between the characters and where they are right now. I just felt that they deserved a better plot line. That's all. I think that this show where it is now, I don't want to see the same villain again. I don't want to see the.
You don't want to see the Demogorgon because it's already got teased.
When you dub a show and call it Stranger Things, you expect some weird, awkward shit to happen, of course. So season 1, we should get some weird shit. Season 2, we should get some even weirder shit. It doesn't even have to be linked to the first weird shit. Then the third one should be something even weirder that doesn't have to be linked to the. I feel like right now the Demogorgon storyline, the upside down storyline is worn the fuck out. Wow. It's worn out. If I see a season 4 about the upside down, I don't know how I'm gonna feel.
So listen, Klep, I'm gonna tell you this right now. You are no longer a Stranger Things fan.
I am
because
no. I love the kids. I love their dynamic. I love to watch them, but I feel like the story around them is getting a bit warm.
No. If you maintain things fresh, there's unlimited amounts of things you could do with the Upside Down. The Upside Down we've only seen 3 monsters essentially. We've seen the Demogorgon, the Demon Dogs, and now we've seen the Mind Flayer.
And we've seen all 3 of those in all 3 seasons.
Okay, see, you're being super unfair right now, Klep.
Wow.
Because, season 1 was mostly about the Demogorgon, right? Like, we got a tease of the Mind Flayer for a quick second on season 2.
The drawing.
Season 1, right? Season 2
there was a drawing in season 2.
No, we just got in season 1. There was just the flash in the sky over the city.
Yeah.
That's all we saw. Okay.
Yep.
Season 2, we did not see the Demogorgon at all. All season.
We saw Demo Dogs.
We saw Demo Dogs, right? Because those were basically the stuff coming out of Will for the most part.
Yeah, the baby versions of the full-grown Demogorgon.
Yeah, coming out of Will. Everything that got stuck in Will when he came out of the Upside Down, that's everything. Season 3, at the end of season 3, it was all about. It revealed himself that what had infected Will was the Mind Flayer, and what got stuck out, right? Like his appendix that got stuck out on the upside up, on the upside up was whatever came out of him at the end, right?
Yeah,
and that's what became the Mind Flayer of season 3. And the only reason he was still able to be connected and like grew his strength was because the Ruskies. Sorry if that's offensive.
Reopened.
I don't know. They were like opening it, right? Like it wasn't fully open.
Okay,
so that's never fully charged.
So that's something that's not. All right, hold on. So the end of season 1 is where we saw the thing come out of Will. End of season 1.
Well, no. End of season 1 is
It was when we saw the thing come out of Will. That is, I promise you.
Okay.
Season 2,
it all blends together.
Yeah, I know. Season 2 ended at the dance, and then we saw.
Yeah, season 2 they put Will in the cabin, all the heaters around him. That stuff comes out of him. Badass bitchin' 11 closes the gate.
Yeah, the little thing flies out of him and runs away.
Yes.
It's just.
Do you not like the Mind Flayer? Because
I don't hate the Mind Flayer.
idea of the Mind Flayer.
Listen, I don't hate the Demogorgon. I don't hate the Demo Dogs. I don't hate the Mind Flayer. I think they're all great, and it plays with the Dungeons and Dragons thing. I love that. But what I'm saying is that they're squeezing this lemon, bro. They're squeezing.
They are, and they're gonna continue to squeeze it because in Russia, for some odd reason, they have
the American.
They have the American who has to be hops.
It better be hops.
It
better be hops.
No, it just has to be. Like, why would they even throw that in there? Because, Yeah. And they have a Demogorgon, which I feel like they might have taken it out of Hawkins. Do you feel that way, or do you think they have a door in Russia? Because this is where I get my info from. Remember when Erica and Dustin were out trying to find a way out of the underground plant? And they were looking, they found this giant cage, and she's like, hey, how big are Demogorgons? And he's like, oh, like 9 feet. And there was a giant cage, but the cage was empty.
Yeah.
And then she found that electro stick that cattle prong. But yeah, I'm guessing that they got one out. They somehow caged them up and rushed them to Russia.
So you think that Hawkins might be the next Flayer?
That the American, you mean?
Yeah.
Because let's not call him Hop, because we don't know if it's him. But
I think he might be.
He might be infected. You're saying?
Yeah. I would like that dynamic.
Yeah.
I need to see some stakes.
Come back. He's a bad guy.
I need to see some stakes. We lost Billy. We lost Barb.
How much of Stranger Things do you want to see? Ideally, though, like let's say you're the showrunner. How many seasons are you doing?
I would love to see them go all the way into the 90s.
Okay.
So however long that takes, I like the time jumps. They're kind of slow jumping right now. I mean, they're still young. So I thought that they were going to go from, say, 80. What was the last one? 83. I thought they were going to go from 83 to like 89.
How many seasons altogether? Give me a number. How many seasons?
I could do a solid 5 with a movie.
Okay, so you want 2 more and then a movie, and you're done.
And a movie.
I wanted to go all the way up to 8 seasons, and let me explain this.
Okay.
So far, three seasons. 1, 2, 3. That's let's call that the 11th saga.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Not saying that we won't ever see her again, but let's write off most of these characters.
I haven't seen enough 11 to feel that way. But go ahead.
No, I feel like I'm. Let's write her off for now. Let's let her. She's Millie Bobby Brown, super talented, very high demand for her right now. So in order to keep her, they're gonna have to allow her to do other things, right? Like we just seen her in Godzilla. The movie sort of flopped. That's
now
not
she's
her
just
fault.
joining the Eternals.
She's joining Eternals. Like
Marvel.
She's gonna be around for a while. But if you try to shoebox her into, hey man, you gotta come back for this show every year, she might have an issue with that, especially if the money's not showing.
I don't think so. I think she likes what she does.
You're assuming. Let's do 8 seasons. Let's do 3 right now, 3 later, and come back with a 2 to just wrap up everything. So I'm talking about. So at the end of this season, that you saw a little hand of the mantle moment, right? When they gave Erica her very own Dungeons and Dragons set, right? Now she's with it. She's lived through the same trauma that the kids lived through at first, right? So like, let's build a new party around her. I felt like there was a little missed opportunity. I felt like they could have been an 11 version of a Russian, right? Like, you know how the Americans had 11? I thought Robin was that for sure, right? Like, that's where I played myself with that idea. But I want to bring in an 11 version of a Russian 11. A Russian 11, right? Comes in, starts out bad, ends up good. It's because, she joins Erica's party, sort of. And then season 7 and 8, the final 2, bring everybody together, Avenger style. Infinity War, everything goes horrible. Season 7, season 8 is just Endgame. You feel me?
I
just killed that.
Something was telling me that maybe that there's untapped powers within Will.
Within Will?
Yeah, something was telling me. I was like, wow. He can sense this thing. Like, it's part of him now.
He's a super spy.
He's no longer.
Yeah, he's not controlled, but he's been part of the Legion, right?
He knows where he is. He knows what he feels it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's untapped power within Will.
Yo, Klep, real quick. Did you enjoy how the movie turned into like a kaiju movie? I like the movie. It just turned into kaiju's. Like, yo, we got a giant monsters, and let's throw some dynamite at it.
It looked good too. Like I'm not even gonna lie. Like, when the flare came out and he was chasing him, I'm like, this doesn't look bad at all. Like, you expect CGI in a TV series to just kind of just kill it.
Yeah.
To be like how sci-fi used to be.
Yeah.
But nah, I thought that was awesome. Awesome.
My only complaint was at that cabin scene, Klep, when they were fighting the mind flayer from inside the cabin. I thought that was like, oh man, these guys are obviously trying to save a few bucks.
Yeah.
You know?
That was probably all practical.
But it felt good because it also felt a little bit like Evil Dead. And they were like,
it did. So answer me this though: 11 gets infected and then loses her powers.
I think she just needs to recharge. I don't think she lost them at all. I think she just pushed herself a lot, and like that was one of the that was her arc throughout the story, right?
Definitely
like
humanized her a lot.
Yeah, man, she's just out here trying to help.
Yeah,
pretty much, and she's willing to do everything, including go hard and maybe even lose her powers. But I feel like I said, she just needs a good recharge. It's gonna take a whole lot more than just triple decker egos than to get her there. She had 1 or 2, like
they showed them when they were in the restaurant, but I don't remember ever actually seeing her eat any egos.
She had that triple decker with our boy Hop.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah. When they were some flashbacks too of them, just having nice moment.
Let's talk about our favorite moments.
Okay.
The absolute. I have my absolute. Favorite.
Okay, so you start. Allow me some time to think.
And I know
Klep.
a lot of critics out there are going to agree with me with this. The absolute best moment, because after a while, the show was feeling a little bit like it was just dragging and dragging. And then you get to the last episode, episode 8, and you get this moment where you finally get the reveal of Dustin's girlfriend.
See, as you were saying that, I knew you were going there.
Because I feel like it was perfectly timed. Because it
was predictable though.
Yeah.
It was predictable.
Well,
Once they got there, I was like, they're gonna give her that moment.
I knew
they're gonna give her that moment.
I knew we were gonna meet her. I definitely thought she was gonna be a lot hotter.
No, dude, because this is in the mind of a 13-year-old.
Yeah,
you know, they can't go with skimpy.
No, I thought they were gonna go switching bait. Like everybody was doubting him and thinking, nah. And then
I knew it was gonna be
get like this little model girl. Like,
I'm not saying she wasn't that. You know, she was in her pajamas and she's 13, bro.
Like, what? It was a typical like geek girlfriend.
Yes.
And I thought they were gonna do something different.
Bro,
like,
they met
switching bait on
this space camp or something. Yeah. So like,
either way, they still work together. They're cute together. And
what's that song, Klep?
Oh man, listen. So and I did an article on this because they did a challenge. Millie Bobby Brown challenged all the Stranger Things fans out there to do the Never Ending Challenge. Basically, Dustin needs a favor. And he hasn't talked to her since he was seeing her in camp. Mm-hmm. So she gives him an ultimatum. Listen, you're going to either do what I need you to do right now.
You better do it.
Or you're not getting any help. And what does Dustin do? He starts singing the anthem to the 1980s classic, Never Ending Story. And she chimes in with him. And it's the best.
It's like a Disney moment.
2-3 minutes of the whole show wrapped into this they became my favorite team-up relationship just in that few minutes.
Yeah.
Just in that few minutes, because that was so nostalgic, and shout out to the Duffers for that, or whoever came up with that. But that's my favorite moment in this entire season, and I just hope that they don't try to recreate it.
Yeah, I loved when we finally got everybody back together. Mm-hmm. Right, I'm talking about homie. What's his name? Klep, the dude that spoke Russian that came in season 2 that basically told Jonathan and homegirl there that they should be together. Anyways, when everybody got together doctor, and like all the kids were like, speaking their minds, and all the adults that knew them, being Joyce and Hop, like they were giving them all the respect they deserve, right? Because they knew things about the plan, they knew things about what's going on, really. And this guy, he's new to everything, and to be spoke that way by children, it was very new to him. Mm-hmm. And the way Erica basically put everybody in their place, bro, because she's like the new person, and even Hop was like, who the hell is this 4-year-old? Like, I just love that moment. That's just great. Very wholesome.
So were you cool with the fact that it was just so easy for people to kind of like
find the Russian,
just find their way, period? Like, I was kind of thrown back when Joyce went to see the teacher, Mr. Clark.
Oh man, that dude is the man.
I'm
bro.
like, she knows him, and then Hopper knew.
Of course she knows him.
The conspiracy theorist dude, and I just like he was like a guy that didn't want the authorities to know who he was and where he was.
Yeah.
And Hopper just like, I know a guy. Knock on the door. He's like, the kids didn't even know this guy existed.
Well, Jonathan and what's her name? Why can't I think her name?
Jonathan. Oh, Nancy.
Nancy.
Yeah. Nancy Drew. Yo. Shout out to homies. Jake Busey.
Jake Busey was such a 80s bad guy.
Asshole.
He's the quintessential 80s bad guy.
He gets it from his daddy.
And this is why you hire people. Like, this is why he still has a job to this day, Klep.
He gets it from his daddy.
So I saw him in the From Dusk Till Dawn TV show. He played Sex Pistol. Mm-hmm. And he's like, he plays himself in everything he does. And it's amazing. Klep, I want to see more Stranger Things, man.
I do too. I definitely do as well. I just wanted to go in a really fresh direction. Yeah. I want this thing to be as fresh as it was when it first came around, because it's special.
Yeah.
It takes me there. Like, I've watched a lot of shows and movies that reference the time, the era that we grew up in, and I've never felt more in tune than I have with this series. Mm-hmm. Not even... It's the only thing now, the closest thing to the Goonies that we've ever had without copying the Goonies. You know, and,
I agree.
You know, so I'm passionate. Like if I say that I'm not feeling it, it's not because I don't like it. I hate it or anything like that. It's like I'm passionate about the direction that they're going in, and it's almost as though I feel like it's for us. I feel like it's for me, and I want this thing to live on. This thing is legacy. This is legendary.
It really is.
There's nothing like it on Netflix. There's nothing like it on television. Anywhere. Yeah. So I'm ready for a movie. I'm ready for a couple more seasons. I want this thing to be the biggest franchise it could ever be. So I hope they take care of it. You know.
Yeah. I'm very excited for what the future holds of this show. Everything I saw was very. It's old but new, right? So I want to see more of that. I especially love the episodes that the Duffers directed, like the first one, the last one, and I think there was one more in between there. Shout out to Sean Levy too. Like every time I saw his name, I'm like, yo, this is gonna be a good one, and it really turned out to be that way. Yo, excellent episodes, man. Really. Like I said, I want to see at least 8 seasons. I want to see them switch it up next year. And I want to see some of the same people come back. Like, I want to see maybe, like, I don't want to see Joyce. I don't want to see anybody that, like, went all away. Let's bench them for a little bit.
They're not going to, that's like a core. Who stayed behind? Lucas stayed behind.
Lucas.
Sadie stayed behind.
But I feel like even them, they should bench. You know, like I don't want to see Mike.
The town is pretty small.
I want them to have like a cameo. That's about it.
So how about if they follow Will?
Maybe
Joyce,
one or two people. Maybe
they follow.
Maybe Lucas will stay back. You know what I mean? And play that like Jonathan.
Well,
role.
I'm saying that they're moving to Illinois, so maybe they follow the Byers and leave Hawkins alone for a little bit.
So follow that party. So Will and 11 and Jonathan, and that's it.
Yeah. And we can get a whole new cast.
Because it's got to be all about Erica, bro. She's the new blood. She's the youngin'. And, like, that's what made the show stick, right?
I feel like if they go back to Hawkins, it keeps the show in a box. They got to expand. I think a major city right now would be perfect.
Yeah.
It's the 80s. Chicago was the city in the 80s.
Yeah.
It wasn't New York like the 90s. Chicago was the main backdrop, and I want to say 90% of any 80s film, go check it out. Chicago is the backdrop.
Okay.
So I feel like if they...
Sears Towers in the background for no reason.
Hey, Sherman, Illinois doesn't really exist, but it was there. John Hughes, shout out. Yeah, I think they should bring it to the major city. We could still get cameos from the other guys that could come visit. Maybe it's one of those things was a coincidence. They come in and kind of like the Gremlins, the new batch. How it was ironic that they work at this building and the old guy comes to visit and he sees Billy and the Mugwise. Like they make it work.
Klep, did you miss that? We didn't see any Papa.
Papa? Oh,
11's Papa.
Brenner.
Yeah, we did. He is set to set. They said at the season 2, they show him getting attacked, but somebody said he lived, right? I think it was the sister that said he lived, and 11 never really looked for him, and it's just an unanswered question, Klep.
Yeah, we didn't get any Brenner, but we still got a little Paul Reiser cameo. We still got a Mark Steger. We got some
I
80s.
Like that Paul Reiser, man.
We got some 80s.
Because I thought he was gonna be the bad guy season 2, but it turned out he was just a good dude trying to help out the people who we wronged. Klep, that's all I have. Klep, is there anything else that maybe you want to address that I forgot to bring up?
No, I mean overall, I wanted to give this series a 3.5.
So what did you give it, bro?
3.5.
I'm about the beef.
Me and Wade both gave it a 3.5 because we just expected more.
Yeah.
We expected better. Our expectations for this show are through the roof. So it's not because it sucked. It's not because we think that it was horrible. We just expect more from it.
Yeah.
And it gives you everything you want. The ensembles, the cast, the chemistry, the comedy, even the set design. Brilliant, beautiful. It felt like it's supposed to feel. We just felt like the story just doesn't do justice to the cast. And that's why I gave it 3.5 out of 5.
If I had to give it my rating, Klep, it's gonna be a little higher than that. It's a solid 4.
Okay.
Solid 4. The show, it shows why it's Netflix's biggest blockbuster to date. I feel like next year they're going to come back even stronger just because they're going to put even more money behind the whole production. And maybe we can see that spin-off you want to see, you know? We're going to see some Dustin Henderson and some Steve the Hare Harrington, 101, the babysitter. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even some Robin in there. Why not? You know?
I love those three together. I like Robin.
Maybe even homie from the Blockbuster that they went to work at. Right?
Oh yeah.
It's dope. I really enjoy
Scoops
the show.
Ahoy's.
Who do you work for? The Scoops.
When they had a
so good,
Scoop
bro.
Troop. # Scoop Troop.
I forget like that scene when they're tied up to the chair. That's like from another movie. Like that scene.
I think it's kind of like,
and they're bro. It's I can't think of it, but that's from a movie, bro.
Yeah.
Like scene for like, oh god, man.
You like the Terminator guy, huh?
I love it, bro. It's so awesome. Yeah, the Terminator guy when they showed him from behind and you see his crew cut. And then he gets shot. He comes back, and Hopper's like, "What the fuck? This dude is the Terminator."
He had a fucking vest on. It was hilarious.
He got them vesties. Yeah. Klep. That's all I got for them, Klep.
I mean, we really hope you guys thoroughly enjoy Stranger Things Season 3.
Because we did.
A.K.A. Stranger Things 3. We did thoroughly enjoy it. I enjoyed the watch. I just wish that it could have taken me somewhere further. With that, we're going to see you guys on the next episode, Critix Talk. And we want to make sure that you guys wake up, be passionate, create, and repeat. Critix Talk.
Yo! Keep it strange.